All new developments tonight in the appointing of a Catholic bishop in communist China. The Vatican says that it is satisfied with China's official recognition of the new head for the Diocese of Tianjin. Reuters says the 95-year-old had once been a member of the underground church in China. He is now set to preside over a diocese with around 56,000 faithful. Joining us now from Rome is Frank Rocca, Senior Vatican Analyst at EWTN News. Frank, great to be with you today. So what's the significance of the Chinese government's recognition of the bishop?
Well, this bishop is a so-called underground bishop. He's 94 years old, and he's part of the Catholic community in China that rejects government control. And as a result, he was imprisoned for a number of years. He's been persecuted. But in recent years, the Vatican has encouraged members of the underground church, including bishops and clergy, to recognize the government-controlled bodies that oversee the church in China. This bishop has finally now done that, and so he was recognized by the government. We expect that he'll be resigning soon, given his age, and then there will be the whole question of appointing a successor.
Frank, what does this say about relations between the Vatican and the Communist government of China?
Well, this is part of a recent series of events that bode well for relations between the Vatican and China. Earlier in the year, after a hiatus, there were 3 bishops named by agreement of the Vatican and China in Chinese dioceses. In the spring, the head of the Chinese Bishops' Conference came to the Vatican and spoke at a conference alongside Cardinal Secretary of State Cardinal Parolin. And as our colleague Andrea Gagliarducci pointed out in a recent article, the Pope's envoy for Ukraine, Cardinal Zuppi, has been meeting with Chinese counterparts in connection with his Ukraine mission, and that's kind of a backdoor into relations, diplomatic relations, because the Vatican and China don't have diplomatic relations, but there is some diplomatic activity going on. So it's part of a pattern.
Yeah, and more generally speaking, what are the prospects for the Catholic Church and religious freedom in China today?
Well, in October, coming up for renewal is the agreement that the Vatican and China made in 2018 on the appointment of bishops. They agreed that neither side would appoint a bishop, a Catholic bishop, without agreement of the other. And that's likely to be renewed at least for another 2 years in October. So that means that going forward, the hierarchy in China is going to be recognized by the government. But on the other hand, it's also going to be committed to the policy of Sinicization or Chinification, which President Xi Jinping has encouraged, which means conforming or harmonizing Catholicism with Xi Jinping thought and Chinese socialism. So depending on how you look at it, this means that the church in China is getting greater acceptance of its role in public life, but at the same time, it's undergoing more government control. And whether or not that's a gain is a debate that's going on within the church and will continue to go on, I think, in the church in the next years.
All right, Frank, thank you so much for following all this for us. We really appreciate it. Frank Rocca, Senior Vatican Analyst at EWTN News. Thanks a bunch.